What is going on, folks? It is Friday. You know what that means. It's time for the Tap Out Show, man. We got a great card on hand tomorrow. I can't wait to watch. But we're gonna tear this card up and discuss things and check in about some other stuff. We got some news stories for you. But I keep saying we because it ain't just me. So with that being said, I'm gonna bring in the villain, my man, Jakey Jake. What's good, bro?
What's happening? This is a great Friday. I'm off work tonight, taking it easy. Gonna relax a little bit, possibly get that new Madden. I don't know yet. I got a debate.
I might have to get that and beat up on you. Make your day worse.
Just like you did last weekend. We had one good matchup. The other one was a blowout.
But again, I say we. It ain't just me. It's three at least. Got to bring in my man Wu-Tang Trend.
Bro, you didn't just bring up three in me, did you?
What up, people?
How we doing, man?
Good. How are you, sir?
How's y'all weeks going? Crazy? Good? What? Bad? What we doing?
Steady.
Staying out of trouble? Not
Always.
I'm always in trouble.
I'm a saint.
My week was fucking atrocious, but I'm making it better now.
All right. Well, you do
what you can. About that.
You do what you can. But yeah, man. So we're gonna get right up into this because I'm hyped. I'm hyped for this card, man. This is probably my favorite UFC fighter, even though he's relatively untested so far. But
relatively a bum.
But I believe in him. Yeah, they go. You hate showing already. The show, what? We ain't even 3 minutes in, and the hate showing already. It's okay though. It's okay. But yeah, man, we got my man Sugar Sean O'Malley fighting Aljamain Sterling. And honestly, based on how fights go, Sean's probably gonna lose. Now I think about it, he's talking too much shit. Usually, when you talk too much shit, you lose. But
man, the thing is though, is that he might be talking shit. But Aljo's talking a lot of shit.
That's true too.
Doing it.
That's true too.
It's a fight game, boys. It's a fight game. You gotta have that fighter's mentality, man.
It'd be weird for these two. These two are both kind of trolls too. It'd be weird if they didn't promote it like this.
Right.
So
the crazy thing is though, is that I personally thought, Jesus Christ, come on. The personal thing is, I thought that I did not know that Aljo was like hated that much. But then again, O'Malley just might be that much of a fan favorite because they're in Boston at the TD Gardens. They're having a great time. And as soon as Aljo walks out, talks, does anything, freaking boos are just going insane.
Well, also, even though he got the rematch, he got the belt in a suspect way, and nobody respected it how he originally got it.
Yeah.
He would have been cool if he didn't throw out that fake ass crying. That's where my dislike for him started.
Because he cried? Man can't.
It
was the way he cried. It was fake ass crying.
How do you know? You know that, man.
Here's the thing. Like, has anybody even stopped to consider that maybe it was actually all real? I mean, we don't know what the fuck's going on in there. I mean, as ridiculous as it sounds, you know what I mean? It's not also outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah, man got kneed in the head. That's not going to tickle.
But the thing is, this is where like the realm of WWE idealism comes in, because I've seen people get hit. I've seen people get drilled, and they'll brush it off. But you know they felt it.
Right.
This guy was on the. Go ahead.
Oh no! I'm just saying, like, but I get all that, but have you been hit though?
Right.
That's the question. Like, I have never to that degree, so I can't even speak to that extent either. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm actually one of the lucky few people that have never gotten into a fist fight in my entire life. Don't ask
me.
Right.
And it shows. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
That's not a shot at you or anything. You know what I mean? Right. I'm just saying we don't have like a point of reference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I've been concussed multiple times. That shit's not fun.
100%. But what I'm saying is that I've seen, and most of us have seen, obviously, in fights that we see people get absolutely rocked. Some fall backwards. Some, sometimes it hurts. You can see some people, cave in a little bit. They get hit. They look right back down at the opponent.
Right.
Aljo was getting his ass kicked for 4 straight rounds. He's on the ground for whatever reason. Peter Yan decides to throw that knee because his corner said it or he wasn't thinking. Aljamain flails his body, rolls over on the ground. They're checking him. He's doing the whole wide eye thing, asking the ref what happens if I say I can't continue, this, that, and the other.
Right.
He tries to get up the one time, he rolls completely over. I'm like, he was playing it up, in my opinion, just the way I saw it.
Right.
And he's acting so out of it and whatever. And then they name him the champ at the end. He falls down to his knees. He's holding the belt. He's crying. He's happy he's got the belt. Again, like Will said, he did go out.
Actually, he wasn't happy that he got the belt.
Yeah.
He left it in the ring, if you remember.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna talk about antics and how things played out and look, then tell the whole story.
Act like leaving the belt and the throwing the belt was after he had just gotten it and was holding it and did the crying
like that. I mean, look,
but then he threw it and did it because he didn't want to get all the hate that he's getting now.
Well, but here's the thing: and I'm gonna digress a little bit, but like the human body got some like weird soft spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there have been times where people just like by sheer luck hit one of these spots. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So we don't know. And then when it goes back to like him getting the belt, I can understand the confusion. You're getting rocker days, people cheering, yelling, whatever, and you get a belt in your hand. Like, how would you react? You're just like 1 minute you got fucking knee in your head, allegedly.
Like,
you know what I mean?
And it realistically too, most of that fight was a grappling match, and when you finally do get hit, it might have shocked him. It might have, put him in that daze. And
not just that, you take a shot to the head, and then you're filled with so many mixed emotions. The pain, obviously. Second of all, oh shit, I'm about to be the champion. And then it starts to register, yeah, but that's not how I wanted to win this. And also, I wasn't winning this fight.
And personally, I don't know what it's like to get hit, but it was the duration of everything that went on, because it was a hit, it was a check, it was a stoppage, waiting for 5 minutes to see if he could continue. Then it was a whole thing of waiting to see whose hand got raised. Bro, and then it was the interview.
We've seen people laid stiff from a lesser shot, bro. We can't really determine what his pain level is.
It's like, how can you measure something like this? There's really no real unit of measurements for any of these things.
And to attempt to measure it is just an effort and futility. Like it's basically the hater showing, bro. You can't do that.
This has absolutely nothing to do with hate. It's a freaking opinion off of what I watched.
But here's the thing, man, and I think
but you're making a judgment on something that you can't judge.
You have to view it differently, Jake. It's you have it structured like a narrative. Mm-hmm. What we're actually witnessing is like chaos slowly unfolding out right before our eyes. You know what I mean? So it's just we have to like be quick to like process too. You know what I mean? That's the reason why we.
That's kind of the reason I jumped to hate is because I just said that like just when you say like, oh, like we've seen other guys get hit. What the fuck does that have to do with this guy? Literally nothing. It literally means nothing that other guys acted this way or that way when they get hit. It's not the same guy. It's not the same hit. Like none of that is relevant.
It's just a judge off a base of what we've seen of 95% of the guys that are fighting. While they fight, they're throwing haymakers and people are getting hit. You're seeing the head get thrown back and they're going right back up front.
Yeah.
I understand.
But again, like Mike said, there's soft points. This was a different scenario. Yeah. He was on the ground facing that way with a knee coming that way.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. It's the fight game. It's not hate. It's just based off of what I've seen. It's just an opinion.
But again, it's like arbitrary.
But it's just it's super arbitrary.
Yeah, it's completely arbitrary. It has like nothing to do with anything else. You know what I mean? It's like its own thing.
Yeah,
like, one knockout. You can't get measured. Again, there's no way to measure these things. Like
one knockout or concussion has nothing to do with the next man's at all.
So we've seen people die with lesser shots too. You know what I mean? Like,
but anyways, so. That is a great premise to everything we got going on. What is our first news story of the day, Jake?
First news story of the day is a quick turnaround for one Damon Blackshear. Last week, he was fighting on Fight Night and got, I believe, the third twister in UFC history. And then Cody Garbrandt backs out and on a week's notice decides to take a fight against Mario Bautista in the main card, nonetheless.
I'm going to go out and say it right now. This is already, with this one move, actually two moves, because the first move is the twister, that you land a twister, which is fucking impossible. Like, no one, like, again, 3 people in all of UFC have landed this, and the percentage is way worse than when you probably think all time in MMA in general. This is a tough move to land. And then he takes a fight the next week. He is vaulting himself to one of my favorite fighters already with this action. This is crazy.
He's catapulting himself to be somewhat of a Kevin Holland almost, because he only did that fight lasted 3 minutes and 27 seconds, I believe, last week when he pulled off that twister. And I believe the guy he's going against is part of Sean O'Malley's camp. This is his first main card. The only reason he was part of that card is because he was going against Cody Garbrandt, he's by no means on a streak. He won one fight out of his – he's won 2 fights out of his last 6, I think it is. But he is a name. He is a former title champion. He was on the main card. Mario's getting a shot at him because O'Malley wanted to fight Garbrandt at one point, so he's taking one of his boys instead. But Cody can't fight. Blackshear steps in after a crazy move last week. Mike, I know you got a pretty good opinion on the twister and how difficult the twister is.
Yeah. Like I said, like only 3. I'm sure a lot more outside of the UFC, but yeah. I'm telling you, like Eddie Bravo changed the game, Lynn, with the Nogi stuff, man. Like for real. The rubber guard, it's like I get it. He's a kooky guy, but he contributed a lot to jiu-jitsu, man.
But that's because of the first line you said. He's a kooky guy. I've watched podcasts, a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts, and that's one of the guys. Eddie Bravo isn't just somebody that he covers. He's friends with him, like they chill and all that stuff. And that's one of the guys whose praises he sings constantly because of that reason. He's like, yo, I've never seen anybody take to something and think so out of the box the way Bravo does. And yeah, that's what he's brought. That's what he's brought to the game. Yo, that twister, bro. I had to really think when I saw that land, and I had to really think to myself, like, I might possibly in front of millions of people rather get knocked the fuck out. Because at least then, just what? The guy, anybody can get punched in this game. We just talked earlier, it lands in the right spot, you can get knocked out for sure. But getting put in a fucking human pretzel in front of millions of people is outrageously embarrassing. My man got put in a twister. That's crazy.
My thing is though, is just think about the balls on this guy though. He goes out and tries one of the most impossible moves in the UFC, connects it, and gets that submission.
Yeah.
And then he goes out and says, yeah, I'll take that fight. I'll go ahead and take another one. Oh, it's on the main card too? Oh, hell yeah, I'll take it. Just the balls on this man, dude.
Which by the way, doubles down on the embarrassment level factor for my man who got put in the twister. Because, like, he said, I just put you in one of the most difficult moves ever in the first round, and then I took a fight next week. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Now, what if he goes out there and hits another one?
No, fucking in Haley's comment, we're gonna see that again, real quick. Like, it's blue moon, lightning in the ball. It's not happening. But if he does, I'll lose it. He'll be my favorite fighter over all.
But I'm glad he got a chance because Blackshear is not he's not a known guy in the UFC. Actually, last week might have been his second or his very first fight in the UFC. He's made a name for himself, well, to say the least.
Now, I got a question from Mike. So I don't know much about Batista, who he's facing. I know a little, but I've seen him fight a few times, but I feel like I don't have a good read. He's heavily favored now. Is that because Batista is legitimately better, or because of this 1 week situation?
Oh yeah, honestly, I don't know much about this guy. Yeah, but it looks like he's on like a solid streak though, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's 12-2. Let me see what he's been doing lately. Yeah, he's a pretty good fighter.
Yeah.
Wins by knockout 3, wins by submission 6. Well,
so he's a finisher. He's a finisher, yeah.
Yeah, I can see this going down to the ground, that's for sure.
He's 6-2 in his UFC career.
Yeah.
Only losing by TKO and submission, but he's won twice by decision, 3 times by submission, and once by TKO. So yeah, you can definitely see some crazy jiu-jitsu and some nice submissions here in this fight.
Man, I like a jiu-jitsu guy that scraps, man. That's why I love Oliveira so much.
Yeah, I agree. Because I remember when he would only just put dudes in submissions, and then one day he woke up after that loss. I forget who did he lose to? It was like 7 or 8 years ago, and then he just went on a tear, and he became like more of a hands guy, standing up, throwing those hands, and he would still he'd still submit you, but he became much more dedicated to knocking people out too, and that's when his star really rose, man.
I will say it's pretty wild that his very first fight at the UFC was against Corey Sandhagen. That is something I believe to mention. Yeah, it was a loss though.
You're a Sandhagen fan. I like Sandhagen too. He's pretty good.
He got way too much hate about last week's fight against Rob Font. Dude got injured during the fight. I mean, come on.
Did he still win,
was able to go out there, and even though it went to decision, he put on a good fight. He's wearing an arm cast right now, yet Aljo, this is another reason why Aljo, it's just he goes after the wrong thing. Like, oh, that was the most boring fight ever. Bro, he was fighting injured. Shut up.
I mean, Aljo's been in some boring fights. Let's be clear. He's not always the funnest to watch. I mean, pacing, he has a good pace to him, but
for example,
actually, honestly, the Jan fight was boring until
I was about to say, for example, the second Jan fight, one of the most boring fights I think I've ever seen.
The first one wasn't exciting either. Honestly,
no, not by no means.
But yeah, man. All right, well,
that was pretty insane. I'm glad he's getting a quick turnaround. Blackshear after that twister, and now he's getting another chance on the main card. That's badass.
Yeah, you gotta salvage your self-respect really quick.
Huh?
Man.
Oh.
I'm just speaking like generally.
Yeah. So,
but that's my news topic for the day. We're gonna go with Mr. Cool Shirt and Cool Hat. Will, go ahead with your topic.
My topic this week for the news is a funny little story about John Jones getting Colby Covington versus, I believe, Leon Edwards pulled off of the 295 card. And the story that I hear behind this, now, I don't know how much truth this is because it's Colby Covington is the main person weighing in, which not even a grain, like a spoonful of salt with this dude because of the way he talks and says stuff. But essentially, he thinks that John Jones went to the suits and told them, I won't fight on the card with Colby. And Colby's saying because they used to be roommates in college. And he's going to bring up a bunch of shit that makes John Jones look bad. And we all know John Jones got a checkered outside of, it's not even necessarily past, like it's just recent outside of the Octagon situation going on. So apparently he just doesn't want Colby on the card stealing his spotlight. Because when it comes to promoting and when it comes to anytime they're on the mic, Colby's gonna win that.
Yeah,
he's built for that. He's basically a WWE character who fights.
If Conor was still in the game, Colby would be second. But right now, I'd say Colby's definitely number one when it comes to talking.
Too much of a headache.
Yeah,
you can't have too many trash talkers in the same room.
Yeah, it's outrageous for sure. But it's not just. It's just like he would outshine him in a fight that he's not even going to be in.
Yeah.
So, I think he didn't want that, and I just think from a standpoint of Colby versus Leon Edwards is a huge fight. Honestly, they wouldn't be the main event. John Jones would still be the main event, but I think we'd all be tuning in to see the Colby Leon fight more than the John Jones fight, in my opinion.
Right.
So,
if we weren't so far out, putting that fight along with the Colby and Leon fight, that would have been a perfect end of the year in December fight as the closeout show.
Right.
But
so that
it's just way too much time.
I think I want to say 295 is November, and so 296 is when John Jones said, "Yeah, let him fight on 296," which would be the month later in December. Minus John Jones, he wouldn't be on that card. It would be Colby and Leon probably being the head of that card. Yeah, I just really want to talk about the fact that as great as he is, I just think John Jones is a sucker, bro. Like I in a general sense, I just think the way he acts and carries himself is very clownish. He's a monster though, and literally possibly the GOAT in this sport. But I just look, there's antics. I know people get tired of Conor's antics and he goes too far. I'd much rather watch what Conor does in losing efforts than watch what John does and says in winning ones.
There's two different sides of the spectrum. You got the Conor and then you got the John Jones. Yeah. John Jones got himself in trouble and exiled from the UFC for a little bit. Conor had bad antics, got in one legal trouble because he talked too much shit, but he never got exiled. He pretty much walked away himself for other endeavors. He stayed successful without getting screwed over, or without getting in his own way, sort of. John Jones got completely in his way with the drug use, the PEDs, I mean, the shit in his personal life. He got in his own way. The one thing that you can't take away from Conor, even though these pictures with Ebony Bridges have come out. He's never cheated on his wife. He's been a good family man. He's provided for his family. He's entertained the fans, and he's never been caught for, I don't think so, at least. I might be wrong here, but he's never been caught for a drug as far as I can tell. Not hard drug like a cocaine or anything. A PED, I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
I don't think he's tested, but he's definitely blown up out of nowhere and then had to wait a bunch of time to get back in. But
yeah, but that's
tank, man.
Yeah. There are two different ways that you can go about being successful in life. John Jones took the low road. Conor McGregor took the high road with dipping in the middle road every now and again.
Yeah. That being said, John Jones' superior career easily, despite everything. Yeah. He's just a better fighter. And yeah, they're both annoying in their own way, but I'm just kind of fed up with all their antics, really.
If we're talking,
it's kind of getting old.
I kind of feel like that might be a tad bit debatable, but when you put against the caliber of opponents that each of them have fought and who has beat what, I can agree with you on the John Jones part.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, almost under almost any metric, he's better.
I think he's going to have just like a slight bit of a smear if he loses to Stipe, but we'll see how that goes.
I don't see that happening. I mean, obviously that's part of why we do the show. We debate that and stuff like that, and we'll debate it when it gets here.
And that'll be a great debate because me and you are definitely going to be going at it on that show.
Man, my question is,
I don't know what ammo you'll have
after Miocic. That's my question.
Say what?
I'm already like looking far ahead with the heavyweight division. Like, who's after Miocic?
No, I'm surprised he took this fight. I thought he was going to be like retire, honestly, retire.
The guy that they're building up next, who's going to be the next big heavyweight star, is definitely going to be Sergey Pavlovich. That's the guy who they're building up big, and that's who I believe Gon's going against next. And then after that, you also have Tom Aspinall, who's coming up big right now too. He's got superstar potential. A great guy from Europe. He had a fight against Curtis Blades and blew out his knee, but he's back healthy and he took care of business like 2 Saturdays ago. So the heavyweight division, even though a lot of people, UFC's mainly known for the lighter weight divisions going up to about welterweight. The middleweight division's getting hot. The light heavyweight division's kind of in disarray right now, but there's a lot of guys that people aren't paying attention to in the heavyweight division that are coming up big right now, and I can't wait to get into that card because it's going to be heavyweight centric.
Yeah. I still just don't see anybody walking in that heavyweight division right now who can come close to him right now. He's just better.
But in that defense, though, there is major rumors around that John Jones will retire after the Stipe fight. So it's going to be.
That's what I think too. I think too because I think a guy like Pavlovich, like I'm not saying he's not skilled enough yet, but that's not a fight that John should want. Because why?
Right.
Gave him nothing.
There's a few other ones. I mean, Derek Lewis isn't a guy that's a contender, but he's still a guy that's going to put up great fights that could eventually move up if he stays focused because he got that 8-fight deal. But he might also just be a money grab. Sergey Spivak
he'll never fight John Jones if he has any brains in his head.
No, probably not. But Sergey Spivak's another one who's an up and comer. Who's good. Curtis Blades is still very good and young. The heavyweight division is a lot more exciting than people think. They just think it's a bunch of fat guys.
I think it's exciting. I just don't think any of them pose a threat.
On John Jones level, no. But like I said, the way I'm looking at it though, which is maybe a little unfair, is that he's retiring after this. So we got to really look at
right. So we're setting it up for other fighters.
Yeah, 100%. Sure. The only way that John Jones stays is if Miocic beats him, but that'll put the heavyweight division back on hold, just like it was with Stipe at DC. Because John Jones isn't going to take that loss lightly. He's going to want a rematch. We're
going to have Stipe as a gatekeeper combo at some point.
I mean, he's the best heavyweight of all time.
That's still debatable.
Yeah.
Only because,
who would you put in that spot then?
Oh man, it's hard to say because it's just been a troublesome division. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to really make comparisons. Don't get me wrong. There's been some awesome stars that came over the year: Brock, Kane, Randy. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, we're always going through these weird ups and downs with the heavyweight. You know what I mean?
At best, I'll give them big fish, little pond.
And it's not as true as that is. You had the Kane. You had Brock, Couture, and then there was another guy. Fabricio Werdum. These guys were all trading the belt around. Stipe went in there, took it, and then ran the division. Now, Will could use his point of saying, big fish, little pond. But Stipe kept that belt and made it relevant again until DC stepped in, but then he beat DC twice and kept the belt. How you can't name this guy the best heavyweight in the UFC of all time? It's a good debate, but I think it's Stipe.
I don't know. Me, I'm a MMA, like I'm an old school MMA guy, so I put Fedor up there as like one of the greatest.
Emelianenko, no problem.
He didn't get
to do it in the UFC, unfortunately.
And again, we can completely agree on that all day, but we're talking UFC.
Fedor, oh man, I don't know. I love the sport, so you got to factor all that in, because like UFC isn't what it was back then. You know what I mean? It was like another lower tier promotion, so it's like I have to look at it by the era when which promotion shined. You know what I mean? And there was a short period there where the UFC wasn't shining. You know what I mean? People tend to forget that. You know,
we can agree that despite, like, regardless of where they fought, nobody's been greater than Fedor in the heavyweight division.
And I felt like Pride's heavyweight division was far superior. It was at the time.
Fedor's a fucking problem. That's a whole other combo, Fedor.
And again, there's no debating that whatsoever. I'm completely on board with saying Fedor's the greatest of all time. The only thing that I thought that we were discussing and debating on was by like UFC standards. If you're talking about all around heavyweight in the MMA world, then yeah, I'm 100% with you on Fedor. There's nothing that compares to that guy.
Yeah.
So,
does that close out Will's news of the day?
Yeah, I just wanted to get you guys weighing in on what John Jones is doing.
Yeah.
Well, then that brings us to Wu-Tang on his topic.
Alrighty. Well, I'll keep it short. I hate to keep bringing this up, but what does everybody think about Elon versus Musk? Like, is it happening? Is it not happening? What do you guys think? You think it's just one big publicity stunt?
Yeah, seems like it more and more every day.
Yeah.
These two dudes make a living with their brains. They don't want to smash each other in the head.
Yeah. Because like it's starting to get like kind of hilarious at this point. Like I can't even like really take it seriously anymore.
You know what I'd like to see? I know they can get that off, but I think another fight that's being set up slowly is Jake versus Logan Paul. I think the brothers are eventually going to fight each other. I think it's going to be a huge fight too. Even though we both think they're clowns, I think, and I know that's not even. Yeah, I mean, that's boxing and everything, but I think that's where that's going to go.
I was about to say, in what capacity? Are you talking MMA, or are they both going to get into a boxing ring?
No, they both are boxers, so they both box.
Personally, on that, I want to still say that they're going to somehow figure out how to work that fight out, because the way that I think that they wanted it to work, and again, it could be a mixed type of promotion. But on Impulsive, Logan was really keying in on doing the MMA thing against Nick Diaz. Yeah, Nick. Yeah. It was going to be Elon and Zuckerberg in the main, or whatever way it was going to end up turning out. And then Logan Paul versus Nick Diaz, so that they could get, the brothers. Those brothers have already fought, and now these brothers are going to fight on a different stage. Yeah,
no, I can see that. What I was talking about in terms of the Paul brothers fighting each other is down the line. I think Logan would have to definitely beat Dennis if Dennis decides to fight him. Dennis backs out of everything, bro. He's a clown.
But the thing is, they're going to have to really do some convincing on Jake's part, because Jake doesn't want to fight his brother. They're on the complete same spectrum as Nick and Nate, to where those brothers never wanted to fight each other no matter what, which is why they stayed separate divisions, one in welterweight, one in light.
Yeah, but have you seen a recent podcast with them where they're really getting after each other? Like,
did you watch that full argument all the way through? Because they
I think that's why I said
kind of said no.
That's why, but that's part of the setup, Jake. That's what you do. You deny.
I don't know. The way I read that was the same way that I read the Diaz brothers. Now, you could be completely right. This could be a completely entertainment factor thing.
Here's the thing, though. They're nothing in terms of like personality wise. They're nothing like the Diaz brothers. The Diaz brothers fought together in the streets, wilding out, and have been crazy brothers their entire lives together. Whereas these two have literally been pranking and shitting on each other their entire life on a regular basis, like pieces of shit to each other. and continue even now to interfere with each other's events, like always having something to do. The grab my hat situation, the prime situation when he's like, I'm with Celsius, like all that shit. Like, I'm telling you, these two are after each other, and there's no real rivalry with Nate and Nick. There's a legitimate rivalry between Logan and Jake Paul. So when they say no, I really believe that that's because, yeah, if we say we're going to do it, then everybody's going to just wait for that fight and not care about any other fights.
Now, I swear, their antics is like a real life fucking Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, it
really is. It's like kind of cringe at the same time. Like,
it's like their life is just an episode of Punk'd, but it's just them like doing it to each other.
Yeah, at the same time, you know what? We might all think it's cringe, but I'd trade places with them for a week just so I could get some of that money.
Yeah, that money is crazy. Hell yeah. But yeah, you know, I think that could happen down the line.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what all comes out of it. Like I said, it's not necessarily a fight that I'd want to see, and again, my whole opinion over it could be wrong, could be right, but I just don't see two brothers legitimately wanting to fight unless this was a scrap in the street that you'd see these two get pissed off at each other and start swinging. But someone grab a camera, that'll be our main event.
Yeah, the question I ask is, do you think these two brothers care more about each other or about money? And I think they've proven already in quite a few ways that it's money.
I mean, now if they're strapped for cash, why the fuck not? Go ahead and fight each other.
No, it's not about being strapped.
These guys ain't strapped for cash. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
if they do,
when does any rich person not take the chance to get more money? It's not like people get money and just chill.
Well,
I got money now.
Well, have you seen the show Succession?
I've seen some episode. Why? Yeah, what's going on?
I feel like they're the same family dynamic is playing out.
Yeah,
but in a different situation. Like,
cutthroat, just cutthroat, man. Like,
except like the people depicted in that show keeps it out of like public eye for the most part.
That was everything that was crazy about that podcast. Like, they did that shit. They just aired out each other's dirty laundry. Like,
yeah.
Like,
and they even said at one point, like, do you really want me to tell you what your insecurity is? Or is that something we should do off camera? And Jake looked at it and they're like, yeah, we should talk about that off camera.
Like, they just publicly going crazy on each other. So
yeah,
that's fun.
It was definitely interesting. I even tuned into it just to see what the hell it was, because they normally put WWE guys on there. And as you both, I'm a huge professional wrestling mark. And I go back and watch, but I saw this because of Twitter. I'm like, holy shit.
So let me get this straight just for a second. You were very fascinated about the podcast with them killing each other. What do you think it would generate in the ring? It's a lot.
The only reason I have the stance on it that I don't think it would happen is because that just seemed, again, I seen what some of the stuff is on TV, and as a kid, it's obviously easy to believe, but you know what's fake when you get older. But to me, that seemed too real for it to be like something that they're going to be trying to like publicize on. But then again, maybe I read it wrong. I very well could have, but I don't think I did. But we'll see if they end up fighting. I don't think it'd be something I'd watch. I'd love to see Elon and Zuckerberg go at it, though.
I think you took the bite a little bit, bro. I think you might have just taken the bite a little bit.
But on the side thing,
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
They sell well. Mike did put a little piece of news up in the group chat that I am going to bring up, though. So we all like the big news topic is all about Bo Nickel, and everyone likes talking about Bo Nickel and what his fighting is and what he's doing. Well, he had another guy coming up with him that was getting real popular, had a great first fight in the UFC and won, and then he had another one and lost, and he's kind of lost his steam, and that's one Raul Rosas Jr.
Man.
They have announced that he's got a fight now. He's going against Terrence Mitchell at UFC. Where was it again? Noche, something like that. Yeah. He's getting a fight against Terrence Mitchell, and I believe it's in Mexico. He's going to give him a chance to make him another bag and do well for his family. So I'm happy for him, and hopefully he goes out and shows the promise that he was showing in the Contender Series and in that first fight. He's young. He's only like 19 years old. He's got plenty of time to learn and grow. He's got a promising career starting that young and being in the show that young.
No, thank you for bringing that up. I didn't think anybody would be interested in that.
Absolutely.
I was interested in it because everyone likes talking about Bo Nickel way too damn much. I'm like, I want to talk about the young up-and-coming talent that's been in this sport since they were a child.
But it's hard to deny Bo Nichols too, man. It's like it's always amazing seeing a star born. It just is. You know what I mean?
I will go ahead and agree with you there, but I'm going to give the same excuse I'm going to give later for another fighter.
Yeah.
I need to see some real competition here, not going against non-wrestling guys. The only thing that he did the last fight that shocked everybody is the fact that he knocked the guy out. But this guy was an unknown guy from a small promotion, 7-2 or whatever, 5-2. I forgot what his record was, but I want to see him do more. I want to see him be active, which he is trying his best to be. Good on him. But once he goes against someone a little bit more credible, I'll definitely be on the path of, I can't wait to see a star born right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. It's such an amazing moment when they capture that. They somehow capture that moment,
Yeah.
It's like when Jordan Duncan,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But that is our news of the day. We are going to take a quick little
commercial break. And when we come back from the commercial break, we got a little clip for y'all. We're going to watch and we're going to respond to that. So, don't y'all go nowhere, man. You're here for the tap out. We're having a great time. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? It's Mike Larimore here. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to Stwf Media for all of the love and the positivity they've been sending my way recently. We partnered up, you know what I'm saying? I just like the energy the guys bring over there. So any sports talk, you want to talk football, you want to talk baseball, they might even talk bowling if you're interested. Boxing, whatever your thing is, man. Go check them out. There's a lot of great coverage over there. Again, it's nothing but positive energy from these guys. Go check them out. Peace.
And we are back.
Yo.
You know it. Tap Out Show. Like I said,
real quick before we get to this clip, you know what we got to do. We always got to, promote and have some fun here. We got to tell you, our faithful fans, to go ahead and like this video, keep on commenting, share it out, subscribe. We could tell you everywhere where we're not, but we're going to say you can get us anywhere because we are just about everywhere. We are on Apple Podcasts, the Google Podcast, Spotify, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Follow us on all and tune in because we have a show about every day.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I always say it's easier to list the platforms we're not on, but it's also easier to list the days that we're not running the show.
Which is pretty much just Thursday at this point.
Pretty sure the number is 0, or Thursday. And even Thursday, I think something happens that isn't necessarily the parlay or this group, but I think something else is going on. One of our affiliates goes on Thursday, so
possibly. Like I said, I try to do my best to pay attention, but Thursday's kind of like the off day to kick back, relax.
Tough day, yeah. But yeah, man, we got a little clip for y'all, so why don't y'all sit back and watch this clip right quick.
My thoughts on the Bloodline story going at the moment, I believe that it should have ended on Sunday, no matter who the outcome was, whoever was the winner. Roman Reigns is the champion, still goes on and fine, but you don't need the Bloodline aspect. You've got the Wise Man and you've got Solo the Enforcer. It makes sense. Usos go out and do their own thing. I understand that there's a thing going on where it said that, the Usos wanted to go against each other at some point at one WrestleMania. For this storyline, personally, just does not make any sense. You had Jimmy, who was the guy that was getting pushed around. He didn't like nothing. He was getting put in the face by Roman. It was his fault, blah, blah, blah. Jay was the one that was getting pissed off about it, but Jimmy was the one taking the brunt. Jimmy gets pissed. Jimmy leaves. Turns Jay, who loved the Bloodline and still wanted to stay with the Bloodline, away from Roman. Got Jay into a title fight going against him because Jimmy was injured, and then you have Jimmy come back as the one that's still in the Bloodline and still loves because there was a little jealousy problem. They wrote that so horrible. That was awful. I hate that. I know I'm going to get some flack for that a little bit, but that just, to me, personally, did not make sense whatsoever. They could have wrote it differently. Having Jimmy be the one to turn on Jay, it's just, I understand you want to be able to script it out to Mania or script it out to these two going against each other at some point somewhere, but it's just, that was written so horribly, they could have went about a different way. There's no way that if I hate someone so bad, that all because my brother's getting a title shot, I'm going to turn against my brother and go back to the dude that treated me like crap. Poor writing.
Remember to follow us on social media at BS India Media. Also, smash the like button on YouTube and share with friends.
And shout out to Dale and Jake, but Dale doing the BS and Beer Radio and the Best in the World. Was that the Best in the World segment or podcast that they were doing about?
Podcast.
Yeah, Best in the World podcast covering wrestling on their channel. Don't forget to join our channel for a wrestling podcast, which is Off the Turnbuckle, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Top Turnbuckle. That's right, Top Turnbuckle.
Yeah, I freaked the hell out. I was like, yo, that's me.
Yeah, boy. That's why
looking good on there, man.
That's why it was perfect to clip to run, because you're part of this show and you're part of that show too. So that was great.
I did my hand
job
and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you did your thing, man. It's good to see.
If you ain't trying all the suits, what you doing?
Yeah, it's good to slide through other podcasts on the STWF brand, because we all like to support each other, man. Me and Coach have hopped on chopping it up with P. Scott, and it's fun, man. I like it's like a cross episode between two shows or animes or something like that. Like I like when that shit happens, man. I love when that happens. So, man, good job, man. You did well. So, what we got next, bro?
I was just bitching about the bloodline. It'd be like that sometimes, though. But what we got for you next is we're going to give you a little bit of a card breakdown, and then I am going to give you my personal 2 fights that I think you should watch for, and I'm going to get my fellas' opinions on what they think about the 2 fights that I've picked out for them to go ahead and dissect a little bit. But
so we are gonna.
I got to give Will a minute to pull up the card. My bad.
Oh, you're good. No, I'm good. I'm ready to go.
Keep it in your pants, Jake.
Sorry, I'm just so excited. Jamie's making dinner, and I'm smelling the chicken and broccoli. I'm excited.
Sounds good. Yeah, he just made me hungry.
I didn't mean to do that, but this wouldn't be STWF without bringing up food.
Yeah, something has to be dropped about food. It's just the rules, apparently.
Now, if anybody didn't know, we are going to start on the preliminary card. We aren't doing the early prelims this time.
No prelims, no early prelims. Sorry, y'all. Moving on.
We have the tough finale fights for the bantamweight division and the lightweight division. Now, there could possibly be a little bit of a debate here coming up, but I don't know. We might try to avoid it. In the bantamweight division, we have Team Connor's Brad Katona versus Cody Gibson. And Cody Gibson, towards the end of this season, was absolutely chirping at Brad Katona because Brad Katona was originally part of the UFC veterans team who Michael Chandler had on their team. But Michael Chandler's team almost swept Connor's team, and they asked if anyone on Chandler's team wanted to move over to McGregor's team. Everyone said no, except for Brad Katona. Reasoning being, Brad Katona is from Connor's fight camp. So, of course, he wants to move over to his team. John Kavanaugh is his regular coach. His nutritionist is over there. Connor's one of his teammates. So, of course, he has no problem going over to the loser's side. So, him versus Cody Gibson is going to be interesting. Both of these guys have already been in the UFC before. Brad Katona won season 27 of The Ultimate Fighter. If he wins, he will be the first ever 2-time tough champion, which is kind of embarrassing if you really think about it.
Which continue to validate my point, but thank you.
Not really. Anyway, moving on, because I'm not ready to debate. We have in the lightweight division in tough, we have Team Chandler's 2 guys going at each other. Austin Hubbard versus Kurt Holabaugh. Austin Hubbard, I did not get to see his last fight on the season because I did not watch the final season of the final episode of The Ultimate Fighter yet, so I couldn't tell you who he beat. But Kurt Holabaugh went against Jason Knight in the semifinals to get to this spot, and he put on an absolute clinic. Just punch after punch, clean, precise. Everything was landing for him, and he barely took any damage, so he's going into this fight ready to go. Expect this to be a barn burner. Next, in the middleweight division, we have Gregory Rodriguez versus Dennis. Yeah, that guy.
So, according to the expert, this might be fight of the night.
Ooh. Tululin?
Tululin?
Yeah, that's
Tululin. Well, if that's the case, Mike, you want to give us a little bit of insight on the fight?
Yeah, I don't know much about these two. I just know that Rodriguez is like a big, heavy hitter, and he just swings like for the fences. So we'll see.
Not typical from your Brazilian fighter, but I love it.
Like he's gonna go after him. He's that type of dog, you know.
Nice. He looks like a
dog.
They both look like crazy people, but
it'd be like that though.
Next, we got the Crybaby versus Tavares.
Damn, I wouldn't call him a crybaby, but you know.
No, I was just talking. We'll discuss why I said that, but
we'll get to predictions later. We will definitely delve deep into that. But yeah, you got a badass like Brad Tavares going against Chris Weidman, who's coming back after I thought he had fully retired. Yeah, that's gonna be. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to that fight. But we got the main card now. The nice little breakdown of the mains. We have two veteran bantamweights going at it who both have pretty credible wins between Marlon Chito Vera and Pedro Munoz. Munoz is ranked 10th in the bantamweight division, and Marlon Vera is ranked 6th. Both these guys are by far not at the end of their career. You have 35 years old and 30 years old going at it, and they both still want title shots. They're both fighting hard, trying to work their way up the division to try to get a shot at either a soon-to-be vacant title at bantamweight, because Aljo might give the title up, or O'Malley might take it. And O'Malley said that the very first fight he wants after winning the chip is Marlon Vera to avenge that loss that he had because he was injured during that fight.
Number 6 Vera versus number 10 Munoz. I just want to speak on the odds of this fight because they're odd.
Really?
Yeah. Vera is minus 198 and Pedro is plus 164. Those are just odd numbers to see. Vera's favored, but that's just a weird odds in my opinion. Yeah. Everything else is like in the 2s or like even or close or like
right
higher than that. But this is just like it seems like Vegas doesn't know how to do this one, or maybe it's a trap. I don't know, but.
Never know.
Maybe it's that close, you know?
Yeah,
it could be that close to the fight, yeah.
Next up, we have the fight that we had already talked about just a little bit between Damon Blackshear versus Mario Bautista. So Bautista is part of O'Malley's fight camp. From what we've talked about, he's 6-2 in his UFC career. He has a notable fight against Corey Sandhagen that he lost, but he knows what it's like to go against big-name fighters. And then he's going against this guy, this crazy maniac man who's just got the biggest balls in America right now, in Damon Blackshear. Throws a twister on a guy last week and then takes this fight on a week notice. I'm looking forward to this fight just because I want to see what else Damon Blackshear brings to the table.
Yeah, I just hope Blackshear can get this dub, because it'd be an amazing story to win last week with a twister and then get the dub next week.
Freaking just ride the damn train. Why not?
Yeah. Next
we have Ian Machado Gary versus Neil Magny. Now, I got hate on this on the private chat earlier because I said Ian Gary's giving out little Dick Connor energy. Look, all because you're Irish does not mean you need to try to act like a dick like Connor does. I don't understand that. This dude was so humble literally 3 fights ago. Now he's acting like an asshole. It's the Connor little dick energy Irish syndrome, and it's annoying as hell. He's going against Neil Magny, who is stepping in for Geoff Neal, who all three of us can agree, if you put Neil Magny and Geoff Neal together, they look the exact same except for the hair. They fight the exact same. They're the same height, the same weight class, same everything. They're both gatekeepers. I don't want Ian Gary to win strictly because of how he's been acting, but at the same time, I like seeing these young fighters be on the up and up. He's 25 years old, 12-0, plenty of knockouts. The guy's insane.
Yeah. I feel like Ian Gary might be fighting a stunt double, essentially.
Pretty much. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, you got some inconsistencies here. We just got finished talking earlier about how Connor is one of the best shit talkers and promoters, and now suddenly that's little dick energy, which is just a weird thing to say, and to start with when he's one of the baddest men on the planet and has been for most of his career. So what I'll say is this. Look, we've seen clearly in the UFC guys who were more deserving get jumped over because they were boring as shit. If you're going to be boring, you got to be so dominant, like Khabib dominant, to be boring and actually get the opportunities. So when a guy who you claim was humble and now is giving off that energy, I just think he's trying to rise his stock, and I don't have a problem with that. He's also heavily favored in this fight.
Yeah. He's just playing off of some dumb shit that Neil Magny said, and it's not like he even said it to be out of turn.
I actually really like that whole little back and forth thing. I thought it was a well-placed back and forth. I thought with what Magny said was funny and goofy, and I thought that Ian took it the right way. Instead of like, there's no other way to run with that, and he did a creative thing where he picked up his son and kissed him and said, "I would never beat on you." I thought that was clever. Thought it was
man.
clever.
Look, they gotta sell a last-minute fight, you know,
right?
That.
Yeah, I feel like you don't like the business side of anything.
No, it's got nothing to do with that. I was just checking real quick to see if there was anything else that was a switch up, but it was not. All right, cool. Moving on to the co-main. Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. Okay, I think this is going to be a consensus pick when we get to our predictions. Zhang Weili is the baddest strawweight to ever do it.
I don't know. I think your boy here. I think our man Wu Tang might go the other way. He's singing the praises of Lemos.
Look, Wu Tang Tran has never bet against Zhang Weili, and I do not think it starts today.
Also, I will point out, I'm sorry, the odds, they haven't given odds for this yet.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm just saying, just don't sleep on this Lemos girl. She's a heavy hitter. Like, I think she can match like Zhang Weili's power. I'm taking her very seriously. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not really in terms of like who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. I'm just taking her as an opponent very seriously. You know?
Yeah, it's respect. I understand that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what we all will be going to see, although I'm going to see Zhang. Like if these two weren't the top of the card, I'd tune in for Zhang Weili for sure. But
Will, before I say this next statement, I want you to know that this is not me taking a shot or me being a hater.
It is.
Stop. I'm just stating a fact. Stop. Listen. This is just a simple fact and a statement that was given by Dana White. Here are the two guys that have sold out the TD Garden, and they did more ticket sales than any finals or conference finals game that the Boston Celtics had against the Heat.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
They sold this building out, and they sold more tickets than those, what was it, 4 games, I believe?
Yeah. That, you know what that speaks to? It speaks to our greatness. It speaks to our greatness. We're there so often. We do big games so often that makes sense. Whereas, how often does an event this big in UFC come to Boston? This is the first one this big.
This is the first one. This is the first one since COVID.
It's the first one, period, this big. Any of the other ones that have come here haven't been a fight that's this anticipated between two fighters like this.
To be honest with you, Will, I'm kind of surprised you're not going.
That tells me that you haven't checked the ticket prices because they're ridiculous. I'm pretty sure like the nosebleeds were in the thousands or something crazy. You
gotta do that trick that you told us all about as the day of tickets.
Yeah, that doesn't see. And you're right. I did tell you about that trick. Shit does not work for UFC. I promise. Because the guys day of game. So first of all, they don't have to buy that because they do sell out. So that trick doesn't work. So what ends up happening is the only way to get them is to get around the area and get it from a scalper who is they have that name for a reason.
Also, this has to play into the fact that it was sold out too, and that means there's no extra tickets left to try to do that day of ticket thing.
Yeah, but maybe scalper got some, but he's gonna.
This is definitely the Sean O'Malley effect. The place sold out because of him, not Aljo. So they put on a badass card. I love this card. Dana's from Boston. He was looking to put on a badass card for his homecoming. It just makes the most sense. It's pretty cool. I'm glad they put on this card. This card is a very underrated because this stuff's good all the way down into the early prelims. And it's kind of funny. I feel like I've contradicted myself because I said we weren't going to go over the early prelims. But a matter of fact, I have a fight to watch for in the early prelims.
Look at him live, folks. Look at him live.
Could you please take us down to Andre Petroski versus Gerald Meerschaert?
We are right here, sir.
Wait,
Andre Petroski was on the season 29 of The Ultimate Fighter. He lost in the second round by submission, but Dana White liked him so much that he threw him in the UFC and gave him a contract anyway, and he is 4-0 by way of TKO, submission, and then a decision win at UFC 281. And he's going against a seasoned veteran in GM3, who is another guy that was he's a gatekeeper, but he was winning a lot of fights and was eventually going to get ranked until his very last fight that he lost. He lost to Joe Piper but he was on a four fight win streak and ended up taking that loss. This is a very good fight and a very good test for Petroski to see if he's for real and able to hang in that middleweight division. I guess this is where me and Mike might end up having our little debate about Tough, because both these fights that are fights to watch for are Tough related.
Well,
okay,
they're your fights to watch for.
Yeah, they're your fights to watch.
And no,
hey, I asked you guys.
No, I know, and undoubtedly, I'm sure that's why.
No, it's not. It's just honestly, I like Petroski. That's the only reason I picked this one. And also, I didn't think I was not going to put Chris Weidman on it. I did not want to put both. I did not want to put both Tough finale fights on it, and I didn't know enough about Gregory Rodriguez and Dennis Tululan to put that on it as well. So that's why this kind of happened.
I feel like that.
But do you guys have any opinions or anything to say about Andre Petroski and GM3? I feel like Mike's seen GM3 fight a bunch of times.
No, I'm saying he looks familiar. Was he the guy who got smoked by Khamzat?
Yes, he was the one.
So,
but that's where after he got smoked by him, he started his win streak after that.
Okay. Well,
so Petroski is the real deal then?
Yeah, Petroski is the favorite in this fight. So,
all right, I'm gonna hold you to it, Jake. I'll be the face to say I told you so.
All right, we will see. And the next fight to watch for is the lightweight Tough finale, the fight between Austin Hubbard and Kurt Holabaugh. The reason why this fight was picked is because Kurt Holabaugh is an absolute pristine precision striker, and Austin Hubbard is a pretty much a take no shit guy on the show, and he fought very, very, very clean.
Surprised you didn't pick Brad Katona. You're Canadian. You're surprised you didn't pick Brad Katona, your fellow Canadian.
You want to know what's you want to know what's crazy?
What?
You want to know whereabouts in Canada he's from?
Where?
Don't think baseball. Huh?
Where?
Winnipeg.
Oh,
go Jets, go!
Man, you're like Israel Adesanya with your nationality right now.
Now look, the thing is though is that he is from Canada and he reps the Canadian flag, but he lives in Ireland and does all his camp work at Connor's gym and stays over there. He is not from Canada, or he is from Canada, but he does not stay in Canada.
I'm getting Izzy energy, Izzy Adesanya energy.
Yeah, man, he's not gonna start yelling in people's faces talking about Canada.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna go as far to say that neither of you two watched the Tough series this year. So
you would be accurate, sir.
But the reason also why I put this fight on here is the fact that both these dudes were part of the veterans team, meaning they were both in the UFC at one point in their careers. So I figured also, there's a possibility that you might have seen him in a past card, because if you guys remember the never mind, that was Cody Gibson. During the very first fight that Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor had very many years ago when I was still in high school, Cody Gibson was on that card, but this is not the fight we were talking about.
I don't know. I kind of look at the Tough series is like the tuning exam, and these guys are like taking it the second or third time.
Yeah, bro. Like, you guys are flunkies, bro.
You literally only get this season to make that excuse, bro. That is horrible.
What?
But you shouldn't.
What are you talking about? I got like 15 seasons.
But you shouldn't get that season. That shouldn't happen at all. Like, if you've been in the league, like this feels like this whole Tough show feels like college, or like, I don't even want to say G League, like the college game. And then once you go pro, that's it, bro. You shouldn't be able to be in this.
So my thing is that how are you guys against Tough, but you're not against the Contender Series? Like, it's the same thing without it being a show.
Yeah, because it goes straight to the point. You know what I mean?
This is straight to the point.
Nah,
you gotta get it each episode.
There's a lot of
training part of it.
There's a lot of real like a lot of reality TV drama that they try to manufacture.
Yeah, like workout training is such a small like compilation each episode.
Again, since you guys watched the early seasons of Tough and saw that part, that is not what the newer seasons are about. There is some drama, a little bit of the bickering, but that's just between the fighters. You get the training camp, the talking, the coaches challenge, and then the fight and training camp. Dana White's pretty much tried to excommunicate all that because of how much dismay from like the
the Ushers of the world.
The seasoned fans of like Mike who don't want to see that type of stuff, which I'm fine with and agree with because the early seasons of Tough were absolutely shit. But now I'd say since probably about Tough 25, these have been very watchable. If you guys ever watched the Embedded series on YouTube where they follow the fighters throughout the entire week leading up to the card, think of it as like the new Embedded series just with, as Mike said, the tuning exam guys.
Oh no, but man, it just like I feel like again, like especially in this season, we lose another element. We don't even get the coaches fight. I don't even think that's happening, you know. So it's like that was like let's be real. The appeal was the possibility of like Conor coming back and fighting Chandler. You know, the whole comeback, the McGregor comeback. You know what I mean?
Is that a bonus news story? Are we not? It's not a guarantee either way, but is it looking?
Yeah, but you got to blame that on bitch ass Conor though.
But here's the thing, like, then why sell it at all? You know what I mean? If we know he's unreliable.
That's the thing. That's Dana's fault. That's not the show's fault.
It's Dana's show.
Well, let's be real. That was the selling point, though.
Yeah,
that's the selling point. Like everything else is just irrelevant.
Yeah. Anywho,
but we still get the payoff.
Do we? The payoff was
we get the Tough finale. That's the payoff.
These Tough winners to me are like, you know, the Marvel TV shows. Like it's like okay, like I can watch them or don't watch them.
Yeah, it's even a little worse than that. The connective tissue is almost nothing, and it's just like you see them on prelims. Like, so their big finale is a prelim fight. Like we don't
right
about prelims. Like,
bro, first off, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was great.
It was okay,
man.
You're just a hater.
Nah, just tough critic.
Way too tough. Hold up, wait.
I'd rather be way too tough than way too lax.
I've had plenty of Marvel debates with Mike. I don't think anyone's more stingy than him when it comes to rating those movies.
Probably.
No, I like my superhero movies. They can be done really well. I'm just saying there's a large portion of it. It just sucks. You know what I mean? It always has been.
Phase 4
I got a large amount of hate for thinking that the Doctor Strange movie was very good.
Which one? The first one was good. The first one was solid.
But that is the card breakdown and the two fights to watch for. We're going to hit one more break, and then we're going to come right back to you with predictions of the prelims and the main card.
I'm looking for Jay's Donuts. I want to run Jay's Donuts, and I can't find it.
Here comes the food again.
I know, right? Oh, well. We'll just go with, you know what? Let me get my man True up in here.
What's up? It's your boy True Story. What's going on, man? Look here, I gotta do this promo video right here for my boy Coach Lee, my boy Uncle Leroy over at Stwf Studios. Let me tell you, I did an interview with these guys a couple days ago, and it was top notch, excellent. I mean, unbelievable. Very informative questions, very thought-provoking questions. My boy Rocket, you know who you are, Coach Lee. You did an excellent job, man. I was so humble. Thank you so much for the opportunity. The questions were so thought-provoking. I wanted to give you a whole lot of me, like I told you, and everything went well. I mean, it's top notch. These guys are excellent lighting, excellent sound, excellent digital quality. I love it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And if anybody know that these guys have called you and they've contacted you, you better want to believe you've been contacted by excellence. These guys operate in nothing but the spirit of excellence. And thank you so much again for the opportunity, man. You guys did an unbelievable job. And I'm going to spread the word as much as I possibly can. You guys take care. It's been your boy True Story. God bless.
That's that man, True Story, doing his thing.
Very inspirational.
Yeah, always. He's the man. All right, it's that time of the show, fellas.
Yes, sir.
Pickety pick time.
All right, we're going to start in the... Well, you know what? We're going to do the one early prelim fight since it was a fight to watch for, all right? I feel like that's fair for Mr. Petroski. So, Andre Petroski versus GM3. Who you got, Mike?
All right, I'm just going to stick with your boy Petroski.
Well,
I'm gonna take that man Gerald just to go against you.
Look, I like both these fighters very much, but I gotta go with Petroski, the young buck.
Will woke up today and chose violence.
That's most days.
Bro, pretty much. He was being very consoling earlier, and then as soon as we hop on the show, back straight to dick mode.
Yeah, I can't. We got the people expect so much from me.
Exactly. All right, next, the very first fight on the preliminary card, we have the tough finale fight between Brad Katona and Cody Gibson.
This fight has no odds still, which not that I picked based on the odds, but I like to have a little bit of help there. But oh wait, did I jump in front of Mike? Sorry.
It's all good, all good. No, go ahead.
I'm gonna go Cody, man. I can't be picking a Canadian.
That's just rude, bro.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna stick with Cody.
I also am gonna stick with Cody.
Oh, you're not allowed back.
Across the board.
Yeah, he's not allowed back to Canada now. That's crazy.
Pretty much. No, Brad Katona's a leg hugger, and he doesn't really do anything in the octagon from what I saw during the fights that he had on The Ultimate Fighter. He fights very conservative, and I do believe Cody can catch him. So, looking forward to a good fight at least, though.
Next, you know that meme with Homer Simpson fade into the bush and come back out?
Nice. Next, we have Austin Hubbard versus Kurt Holabaugh.
Go ahead.
Then I'm gonna go with Holabaugh. That dude looks beefy.
I'm gonna go Austin Hubbard as he's the favorite, and I don't know much about either fighter.
That dude's nose is so jacked; it's hilarious, though.
Who Hubbard?
Hubbard.
Yeah,
he's gotten punched in the nose a few times.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
I'm gonna go Kurt Holabaugh as well because I just think he's pinpoint and surgical when it comes to punching people in the face. I think he could knock him out.
All right, moving on.
We got Gregory Rodriguez versus Dennis Tululin. I like that name.
I'm going with Rodriguez, man. My guts is on him.
Yeah, the fact that I always expect the Brazilian fighters to be more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and this guy just comes out throwing bombs. I'm a fan.
Jake?
I'm going to go Rodriguez as well just because heavy-handed normally does really well. Next fight, we've got Crybaby Weidman versus Brad Tavares.
Full disclosure, I called him Crybaby because he was crying about being on the prelims of the card that he was saying about all this stuff that he puts his body and mind through and all that stuff, and like he bleeds for the sport. And I'm like, yeah, but everyone does. I get you've been doing it for a while, but I understand. Also, you were gone and you're coming back now, and I don't know. It seemed like he was doing a little crying.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Tavares, man. It's history shown that whenever like fighters are in their like Madonna mode, it just never works out, man.
Especially when they've been away.
Yeah, like if so, you can't like keep it all together. It's a sign that you're losing it.
Yeah,
because I look at that as like an outburst. You know what I mean?
Yeah, even though it's not a major one, it's still an outburst. And I would say, from a guy that you're coming back from not fighting, mentally that takes extra strength to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already shown that mentally you got some things going on. So I'm going Tavares too.
Brad Tavares is a straight fucking animal. He's awesome. And I don't care if he's only 2-4 in his last 6 fights, but Chris Weidman, you're a whole ass bitch and you're from New York. So fuck you. I got Brad Tavares.
That's aggressive. That's so aggressive.
Damn,
you thought I chose violence. Jesus.
That's a hater right there. I'm sorry.
Moderate in the building in the chat.
Hater? Why am I a hater? Will I hated on him more?
Like you don't have your emotions in check, bro. Like,
hey, I gotta blow up once a show just for fun.
Damn,
they don't call. Hey, if I'm a villain, I ain't a hater. I'm just an asshole. All right, moving on to the main
equal
card.
Asshole, you know what I mean?
Moving on to the main card, we got Marlon Chito Vera versus Pedro Munoz.
All right, I'm going with my boy Vera. Like, especially after like that knockout from Cody Garbrandt, I was like, I don't think that guy's the same.
Yeah, it's Vera for me too. Definitely Vera for me.
Hold up, I fucked up. Before we even get to this, it's the debut of the main card bets. I forgot to throw that in there. So,
do that.
ladies and gentlemen, just so you guys know the premise of what this is, we are going to make a bet for the bottom two guys, and they're going to make a bet. So if it's Will, he's going to make a bet for the top and the bottom, and Mike's going to make bets for the top, but I get to make bets for the bottom two. Whoever gets the most right gets to pick one of the two from the below or from the above. Good God. He gets to make a bet, and they get to pick which one gets to do the bet. So, first and foremost, Will, if I get the most right and I pick you to pull up on
you get one of these things, by the way. One of the two.
What do you mean?
I mean, you get one of you try to list two things for me. You get one of the two things.
I'm not. You are not allowed to have a single thing on your head.
No.
You see what I did there, didn't you? Anyway, Mike.
That was well played, actually. Because you played it well, I'll time. Because you played it well.
Mike, this might be a little disrespectful, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it.
What?
If I get the most right and I pick you, you gotta wear the leaf headband upside down.
The what? The leaf headband upside down?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
All right. Now
we may need him to draw a line through that leaf. He knows what that's about.
Oh yeah. All right. Will, your turn for the bets.
I'm not even gonna pick Mike. You're the villain, so I'm only gonna pick you, which means
that's bullshit. But you still got to name them both anyway.
Fine, mine will be. I'm making them. Maybe he can put a piece of tape over it and then color it in black. But he's got to get a line through that leaf. He's got to get a line through it. And you're shaving, bro. You're shaving clean.
My head?
No, man.
Shaving clean, bro. You wanted to play? We're gonna play, man. This is your idea.
I just went freaking bald. You really gonna make me get rid of my fucking beard too?
You are gonna look like a whole skinhead in here, man. Like
that's some fuck shit. All right, Mike, go ahead. Your turn.
Okay. I guess for Will, you're gonna have to wear whatever sports team Jake likes.
Ooh, I gotta find something. All right, yeah, okay.
All right. For Jake, you got to wear a wig and makeup for the next podcast.
Oh, so aggressive.
I didn't even do anything that bad. Damn.
You wanted hair? I gave you hair, okay?
Yeah, Harper's going to have a field day when she gets to do his makeup. I can't wait.
Hold up. Who said Harper had to do my makeup? I'm making Jamie do it.
Okay, fine. Jamie can do it.
All right. Anyway, we have moved on to the main card now that the bets are set. I'm taking Marlon Chito Vera as well.
Wait, so and which picks is it based on? Is it just one fight?
No, it's all overall 5.
Oh, so all 5 of the main card. Okay. Well, all right. Okay. All right. This is gonna get confusing. It's gonna come down to basically like one fight, I think. But yeah, what you got? Oh, I picked Vera too. I think we all picked Vera.
Yeah, we all picked Vera.
All right, that's a clean sweep there. All right, next in the bantamweight division, we got Damon Blackshear versus Mario Bautista.
I'm gonna go Blackshear here.
Yeah, Blackshear.
All right, and this is where I get up one on y'all. I got Batista.
Okay, why?
Because his last name's Batista.
Yeah, you wrestling theme.
Next, we got Ian Machado Gary versus Neil Magny.
I'm going Gary because you hated him so much.
I don't hate him. I actually really like the guy. It's just he's got a little peen energy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Gary TKO.
Ooh, caveat.
You know what? This is a really tough pick though, strictly because Ian's going hard at Neil Magny's kid, meaning Magny's got a whole new hulked up vision of this guy. It doesn't matter if it was true or not or whatever way he took it wrong. He's hulked up right now because he talked about his kid. So there's a little bit different of a thing here. Neil Magny's just not that good. I got Ian Gary.
All right. So far,
in the main, we got Zhang Wei Li versus Amanda Lemos.
All right, I'm gonna go with Wei Li. I think she's gonna use more grappling in this fight, in my opinion. So
until I see somebody really do significant damage to Wei Li, I'm just gonna ride with her.
I'm also gonna go with Wei Li.
See, I told you it wasn't gonna be all 5 fights. It was gonna come down to like one fight, basically. And this is
I got the one. Let's go. All right, bantamweight. We got Aljo versus Sugar Sean.
Man, I'm gonna go with Sterling.
I'm going Sean.
I'm going Sterling.
I got to go Sterling. There ain't no way that he's going to be able to beat him.
There we go.
All right, so we agreed on 3, and we are different on 2.
Yeah.
This could end up in a tie still, but this is going to be fun.
If it ends up as a tie, everything's null and void.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
But it's time
for
the
be
inevitable.
The card, fellas. I'm excited for it.
Absolutely. So that's the card. That's UFC 292 tomorrow night. Tune in if you can. Yeah, I am a fanboy for O'Malley. He's a beast. I do, but I have said openly that he needs to beat someone that isn't a worn down Jan. And this is the fight. This is where he's got to show it. If he doesn't win this, his road's gonna be significantly different in terms of what's gonna happen for his career. If he wins this fight, y'all gonna have to put up with a lot of bullshit from me and from him. So
see, now here we go. We got the Lewis does not hate on me on any other show except this show. He had to have heard me earlier say that this is a massively underrated card, and he goes and says it's subpar. What an asshole.
Who?
Lewis.
Yeah. Oh.
I think he might be calling it subpar because this is in Boston too. I don't know. I can't tell.
Nah, he just like if the main event is a guy that he doesn't really respect O'Malley. I don't think he respects Sterling either. So using the card to get a nap in.
Damn.
He's a. Yeah, I do. Yeah, the rest. I like he doesn't. From what I've seen, you don't care about the wheelie fight. He's gonna be like, ugh, women. That's what he always does. He's a maniac.
That is Lewis.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But listen, women. Nah. See. I appreciate everybody who tapped in tonight. Coach, Chris, Lewis. Facebook user, whoever that was. I can't tell who that is. I hate when that happens.
Might have been my buddy Damien. I'm not sure though.
All right. Yeah, it probably was your buddy because he said tough is the best. That sounds like something you and one of your friends would say.
False. Because Mike's one of my friends and he does not agree.
Dude, I gotta keep it real with you, bro. Like that's why we're friends.
Hey, personally, I'm not for or against it. It's something on TV I can watch. I'm pretty happy.
It's a good question. Where is Rose these days? Doug Rose done? Like what's happening?
She's moving up a weight class.
And is she fighting again? Never.
I have not got like a fight update, but from what I heard, she's supposed to just be moving up a division.
Huh? Who's she running from or running towards?
What's above strawweight? I'm losing it here. Is that
Valentina? Yeah, it's like Valentina's like weight class.
Oh, she's getting into.
Flyweight.
Yeah, flyweight. Yeah.
Well then, all right. I'd like to see that fight. Although I'm pretty sure Valentina manhandles her, but
more than likely. But Valentina's not even the champ right now. She got to deal with her own problems.
Still a good fight. Still a tough fight too.
Yeah. But
we shall see in closing. I like the card. I'm looking forward to it. That is the finale of the tap out for the day. You gentlemen got some shouts?
Oh, yeah. Lewis checked and said she has a fight. Let me see. Oh, she's facing Fiorot. Here, I'll pull this up so I'll show you right quick. Doobie-doo. Shout out to Lewis. I named him Kodak Black. There's a long story behind that, but I'm not gonna get into it. But yeah, man. So that's the fight on September 2nd.
Okay, that's pretty soon, actually.
Speaking of which, I like Rose's hairstyle so much I stole it. But yeah, what's up, guys? We got some shout outs tonight.
Yeah, shout out to everybody who joined in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to you fellas for another great show. Shout out to the brand. Like, share, subscribe, share, especially. Get us out there so more people can join these shows. Yeah, man. Appreciate you fellas. Great show.
Mike?
Yeah, shout out to everybody who tuned in, man. Like, you know, it's great. No matter like how big or small the crowd is, man. I greatly appreciate it. Without you guys, man, this wouldn't be a thing. So definitely shout out to you guys.
Absolutely.
Hells yeah. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everyone in the crowd that decided to show up tonight for us. We are looking forward and are extremely excited for this card. I'm looking forward to playing some Madden with Will again. I'm looking forward to dinner. Thank you everybody for being here, and thank you STWF on Coach too, all you guys. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow to the BS and Beer Best in the World podcast for your wrestling needs, and we'll be back next Friday with you with a review and the fight night card look at
all of that. So with that said, this has been another tap out for a main event card. Can't wait. See y'all next week when we cover this and talk about some fight night stuff, probably. Who knows, whatever else news comes up. Y'all have a good one.
Someone's got to make up on their bet, too.
And the bet. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
All right, fellas, y'all have a good one. Come a week.
Find this podcast and others on STWF TV, the podcasting network, wherever you get podcasts.